Join us as we pay tribute to the legendary cast of Gunsmoke, 1955 to 1975, the iconic Western series that captivated audiences for 2 decades. While the show remains a cornerstone of television history, many of its beloved actors have tragically passed away. This tribute takes a closer look at the lives, careers, and untimely losses of the stars who helped define Gunsmoke and leave behind an unforgettable legacy. From personal struggles to unforgettable performances, we remember these actors who brought the Wild West to life, and whose impact on TV and film continues to resonate, even after their passing. James Arness, born on May 26, 1923, took on the iconic role of Marshal Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke at the age of 32. Known for his commanding presence and steady demeanor, Arness brought a sense of justice and authority to the character, becoming one of TV's most recognizable figures. But behind the stoic facade, Arness' personal life was marked by tragedy. His daughter, a victim of a drug overdose, left him devastated, and his first wife tragically passed away from a similar fate. Despite enduring such heartache, Arness quietly carried on, never fully overcoming the pain. On set, his serious demeanor was often misunderstood as aloofness, leading to rumors that he was difficult to work with. He struggled with mental health, facing bouts of depression after personal losses. As his health declined, Arness quietly faded from the limelight, dying of natural causes on June 3, 2011. His death, at the age of 88, closed a dark chapter on a beloved TV legend. Amanda Blake, born February 20, 1929, was just 26 when she took on the role of Kitty Russell in Gunsmoke, bringing flair and independence to the role of the saloon owner. Off-screen, Blake's life was filled with controversy and personal turmoil. Her multiple marriages, which ended in messy divorces, were often tabloid fodder. Blake's battle with smoking was well known, and it ultimately led to serious health issues later in life. However, it was her later diagnosis with AIDS-related complications that shocked many, as she had kept her health struggles largely hidden. Her personal life was a roller coaster of public and private battles, including rumored turbulent relationships with co-stars. As a glamorous figure, she was often regarded as a victim of Hollywood's demanding culture. Blake passed away on August 16, 1989 at 60, from complications related to AIDS, and her tragic death remained shrouded in mystery for years. Milton Stone, born July 5, 1904, became forever tied to his portrayal of Doc Adams in Gunsmoke at the age of 51. Stone's portrayal of the wise, tough doctor resonated deeply with audiences. Off-screen, however, his life was a mix of personal struggles and secret tragedies. Stone battled health issues throughout his life, including the loss of his first wife, which deeply affected him. Despite being known for his warmth and gentle demeanor on screen, Stone struggled with depression and was rumored to have a troubled relationship with alcohol, often disappearing into private bouts of drinking. These demons caused tension on set, as some colleagues noted his erratic behavior. His health problems only worsened as he aged, leading to a fatal heart attack on June 12, 1980, at the age of 75. His passing marked the end of an era for Gunsmoke, though his personal battles were rarely discussed publicly, leaving a trail of whispered secrets behind the scenes. Ken Curtis, born July 2, 1916, brought Festus Hagen to life in Gunsmoke in 1959 at the age of 43. His character, known for his humor and loyalty, was a favorite among fans, yet Curtis' own life was far from comedic. Though he had a career as a singer, Curtis struggled with personal issues, particularly within his multiple marriages. He was also known to be a very private man, often avoiding publicity, which added to the mystery surrounding his personal life. Curtis' drinking problems were an open secret, and he was often reported to be difficult on set, frequently clashing with cast and crew over his behavior. His private nature led to speculation about his emotional struggles, which were rarely discussed publicly. Curtis passed away from a heart attack on April 28, 1991, at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and mystery that few truly understood. Glenn Strange, born on August 16, 1899, portrayed Sam Noonan, the bartender in Gunsmoke, starting in 1961 at the age of 62. His towering presence and steady portrayal of the dependable bartender made him a staple in the series. But behind the scenes, Glenn Strange's life was riddled with personal struggles. Though known for his roles in westerns, his career was overshadowed by private battles. His marriage ended in tragedy, and he faced chronic health problems. By the time Gunsmoke became a household name, Strange was battling the ravages of lung cancer, a disease that would ultimately claim him. Despite the fame, his personal life remained in the shadows. He was a man who didn't have the luxury of a peaceful end. His passing on September 20, 1973 at 74, marked the end of a turbulent chapter in his life, leaving behind a legacy that was as complex as his on-screen persona. Glenn Strange's role as Sam Noonan was one of quiet strength, but his off-screen life was marked by quiet pain, a contrast that few saw coming. Dennis Weaver, born on June 4, 1924, was 31 when he first appeared as Chester Good in Gunsmoke. His portrayal of the limping, loyal deputy brought vulnerability and depth to the character, but off-screen, Weaver's life was a complex and sometimes painful journey. He faced multiple personal struggles, including health issues and the loss of his wife, which affected his mental state and outlook on life. Known for his environmental activism, Weaver often clashed with Hollywood's toxic culture and was outspoken about his disillusionment with the industry. His struggles with addiction were not widely reported, but many insiders noted his erratic behavior on set. Weaver's final years were marked by a battle with cancer, which he fought quietly before passing away on February 24, 2006, at the age of 81. His death was overshadowed by his legacy of selflessness, yet his personal battles left a darker mark on his otherwise heroic public persona. Rudy Sudter, born on June 17, 1905, made his first appearance in Gunsmoke as a townsman/barfly at the age of 55 in 1960. Known for his musical talents and ability to add depth to minor roles, Sudter's career was steady but unremarkable. However, his life was filled with darker moments. Off-screen, Sudter faced mounting health issues, his health slowly deteriorating over the years. His marriage crumbled, adding further personal grief to his already troubled existence. A man who had once been part of the Hollywood machine found himself an outsider, struggling with a sense of failure as his career waned. His own personal demons, combined with the loss of his wife, were kept from the public eye, making his role in Gunsmoke seem even more like a bittersweet reminder of what could have been. Sudter's eventual death on June 9, 1991 at 85, came after a long period of health battles, but by then, his life's true struggles remained largely unknown, leaving behind a legacy of muted success and silent suffering. James Nuser, born on May 3, 1905, was 51 when he first appeared as Louis Feeders, the town drunk, in Gunsmoke in 1956. Off-screen, Nuser's life mirrored the character he portrayed, with real-life struggles with alcoholism and personal tragedies that would have shocked his fans. His drinking problem was no secret, and many believed it affected his career, preventing him from securing more prominent roles. His personal life was marked by repeated failed marriages, with his wives often complaining about his inability to maintain any form of stability. His problems with alcohol were not just public, but they interfered with his ability to maintain his career. As his health deteriorated, Nuser became an increasingly reclusive figure, his fame fading along with his physical health. His death on June 8, 1979 at 74, was caused by undisclosed health issues, but those who knew him well understood that his battles with alcohol were a significant factor. Nuser's life, both on screen and off, was a tragic tale of lost potential, self-destruction, and the unseen toll of addiction. Pete Kellett was born on November 4, 1922, and was 38 years old when he joined Gunsmoke in 1960. Known for playing the occasional barfly or townsman, Kellett's stoic face became a fixture of the series. He was a seasoned stuntman, performing many dangerous stunts in westerns. While he appeared to have a sturdy, dependable career, Kellett's personal life was marred by constant turmoil. He was rumored to be prone to violent outbursts, often clashing with fellow actors on set. Kellett was known for a volatile temper, and despite his hard-won success in stunts, his career was marred by several failed TV roles and career stagnation. His personal life was even more chaotic, marked by a series of tumultuous relationships. His struggles with addiction, particularly alcohol, were well documented, leading to a string of arrests and public altercations. Sadly, Kellett died at 59 on August 7, 1982 under circumstances still shrouded in mystery, further feeding rumors about the pressures that plagued his life. Clem Fuller was born on July 6, 1908, and was 49 years old when he appeared in Gunsmoke in 1957. Best known for his portrayal of townsmen and bartenders, Fuller's sturdy presence grounded the chaotic world of Dodge City. Yet, beneath the surface of his rugged roles, Fuller's life was filled with unspoken hardships. He was a stuntman before his acting career took off, and the toll of dangerous stunts left lasting scars on his body and mind. He struggled with severe injuries that left him unable to work at times, leading to depression and financial instability. His career never truly blossomed beyond the stereotype of the grizzled Western character, and this limited his opportunities in Hollywood. Fuller's personal life was equally troubled, plagued by a failed marriage and estranged relationships with his children. His health continued to deteriorate from the effects of his stunt work, and on May 24, 1961 at age 52, Fuller succumbed to cancer, a bitter end to a life filled with both literal and metaphorical bruises. Howard Culver was born on June 4, 1918, and was 37 years old when he first appeared in Gunsmoke in 1955. Playing Howie the hotel clerk, Culver's portrayal of a reliable, steady character became a key part of the show's charm. However, his real life was far more unpredictable. Although Culver had a long and steady career in radio and television, his personal life was fraught with struggles. A notoriously private man, Culver's relationships were often marked by distance and secrecy. He faced health challenges early on, particularly in his later years, which prevented him from working as consistently as he had hoped. But it was the tragic loss of close friends and colleagues that deeply affected him. He was known to suffer from depression, compounded by the slow decay of his health. His struggles with meningitis in his final years were marked by a grim silence, and on August 4, 1984 at 66, Culver passed away at the age of 66, his career and personal turmoil fading into obscurity. George Sulk was born on May 15, 1893, and made his debut as Moss Grimmick, the stableman, in Gunsmoke's first season in 1955, at the age of 62. On screen, Moss was quiet, dependable, and rarely central, but a comforting fixture in Dodge. Off-screen, Sulk was known for being withdrawn and paranoid about fame. Colleagues noted his distrust of the industry and growing bitterness over being typecast in background roles. Sulk reportedly battled depression and chronic illness throughout his final decade, withdrawing further from public life. Rumors circulated that he drank heavily in private and clashed with producers over his limited screen time. By the mid-1960s, he had all but disappeared from acting, leading to whispers of a nervous breakdown or undisclosed mental illness. He died on January 22, 1967, at age 73 under unclear circumstances, his death reported quietly, without tribute or recognition. His story remains one of invisible pain and a forgotten figure crushed by the machine of television stardom. Burt Reynolds was born on February 11, 1936, and joined Gunsmoke as the blacksmith Quint Asper in 1962 at age 26. Quint was a tough, brooding figure with a mysterious past, whose presence added depth and danger to Dodge City. Reynolds' rugged charm captivated audiences, but his departure after just 3 seasons hinted at deeper tensions. Though he soared to superstardom in the 70s, his career was riddled with failures and humiliations. At long last, Love and Rent-A-Cop flopped badly, and he was infamously difficult on set. His toxic romance with Lonnie Anderson led to a bitter divorce that included allegations of abuse and child neglect. Financial ruin followed, with Reynolds filing for bankruptcy in 1996 and admitting he lost nearly everything. Rumors of drug dependency and erratic behavior plagued his later years, and he alienated many in Hollywood with his unpredictable moods and controlling nature. Once the top box office draw, he died virtually alone on September 6, 2018, at 82, from a heart attack, his once golden legacy tarnished by years of scandal and emotional collapse. Hank Patterson was born on October 9, 1888, and portrayed the character Hank on Gunsmoke in 1959 at the age of 71. Known on-screen for his gentle wisdom and quiet presence, the real Hank led a life tangled in contradictions. Off-camera, Patterson harbored deep resentment over being typecast in simpleton roles, despite his ambitions for more complex parts. He faced increasing professional humiliation as producers often mocked his hearing loss behind his back. He was nearly deaf by the time he appeared on Gunsmoke, and had to memorize not only his lines but others' cues to keep up. Despite decades in Hollywood, he was often dismissed as forgettable. His home life was equally grim. He never married, and rumors swirled of a long secret affair with a married co-star in the 1940s, which supposedly led to his brief blacklisting during the Red Scare. As his health declined, he became reclusive and paranoid, reportedly accusing neighbors of spying on him. He died on August 23, 1975, at age 86 from bronchial pneumonia, alone in a nursing facility he once said felt like a waiting room for ghosts. Michelle Breeze was born on December 18, 1942, and appeared in Gunsmoke as a recurring saloon girl starting in 1964 at age 22. Her characters embodied flirtation and vulnerability, but behind the camera, Breeze's reality was far harsher. While praised for her looks, she was constantly overlooked for substantive roles, leading to a career stuck in ornamental parts. She endured multiple abusive relationships, including a well-known affair with a married producer that nearly ended her career when she tried to go public. Her off-screen reputation suffered as whispers of pill dependency and erratic behavior circulated in industry circles. Breeze was briefly blacklisted after a lawsuit involving a casting couch incident, one that never reached court but left her reputation stained. In her final years, she lived reclusively, battling a degenerative illness and estranged from much of her family. She died on September 13, 2016, at age 73. Her passing receiving barely a mention, just another forgotten actress chewed up by the Hollywood machine. Woodrow Chamblas was born on October 14, 1914, and entered Gunsmoke as Mr. Lathrop in 1957 at age 43. Lathrop was a quiet presence in Dodge City, often used for background color rather than narrative weight. Chamblas was known as a character actor's character actor, steady, humble, but plagued by professional disappointment. He reportedly resented his lack of screen time and the dismissive attitude of younger, flashier stars. Off-camera, his marriage deteriorated under the pressure of his sporadic income and constant rejection. His wife reportedly left him in the 1970s after years of quiet resentment. Friends described him as increasingly bitter and obsessed with the idea that Hollywood had forgotten him. Rumors swirled about his involvement in underground gambling circles and persistent money troubles. Chamblas died on January 8, 1981, at age 66, from causes never officially disclosed, an end as murky as his overlooked career. In life, he was background. In death, he faded into near-complete anonymity. Dabbs Greer was born on April 2, 1917, and first appeared in Gunsmoke in 1956 at the age of 39, playing the affable storekeeper Mr. Jonas. Jonas was known for his kindness and reason in a lawless town, a mirror to the dependable character roles Greer often played. But the actor's life was defined by quiet tragedy. Though beloved by fans, Greer struggled with closeted sexuality at a time when any revelation could have ended his career. He lived alone for most of his life, rumored to have had a long-term secret partner he could never publicly acknowledge. He also suffered from chronic heart and kidney conditions, which left him increasingly frail in later years. Despite working steadily, he never achieved stardom and was quietly bitter about being forever cast as the everyman. His health steadily declined, and he spent his final years in near-total obscurity. He died on April 28, 2007, aged 90, from heart and kidney failure, his personal life largely buried with him, one of many actors forced to hide who they were in the golden age of Hollywood. Charles Wagenheim was born on February 21, 1896, and joined Gunsmoke in 1966 as Halligan at the age of 70. Though often seen playing harmless drunks or townsfolk, Wagenheim's off-screen life was anything but innocent. A lifelong bachelor, he had an obsessive nature that often bordered on dangerous. He reportedly stalked a younger actress for months in the 1950s, sending increasingly erratic letters that production assistants had to intercept. His career was derailed more than once by public outbursts, including a screaming match with a casting director that led to his brief ban from several studio lots. In his final years, paranoia consumed him. He was convinced his housekeeper was stealing from him, and in 1979, in a shocking twist, she was arrested after Charles was found beaten to death in his Hollywood home, reportedly after threatening to report her for forging his checks. He died on March 6, 1979, at age 83, his death ruled a homicide and his legacy marred by the brutal, tabloid-fueled end. Sig Fiser was born on September 26, 1907, and debuted as Obie in Gunsmoke in 1962 at age 55. A talented musician and comic actor, Fiser brought folksy warmth to his roles, but off-camera, he was haunted by demons. Fiser struggled with alcoholism for decades, often arriving to set visibly hungover or slurring lines, forcing retakes that irritated producers. He was briefly blacklisted from a major music program in the 40s after an onstage tirade where he reportedly insulted a fellow performer with a racial slur, something that dogged his reputation for years despite never being publicly acknowledged. His marriage ended bitterly after a string of affairs, one of which involved a married studio executive's wife, leading to a quiet studio cover-up. He had no children, and in his later years, he reportedly became isolated and paranoid, convinced he was being cheated out of royalties. Colleagues said Fiser could be charming, but when the cameras were off, he often lapsed into melancholy rants about Hollywood's betrayal. He died of cancer on March 16, 1984, at the age of 76. Robert Brewbaker was born on October 9, 1916, and first appeared as Jim Buck in Gunsmoke in 1957 at age 41. On screen, he brought a quiet grit to supporting roles that anchored the show's realism, but behind that sturdy cowboy image was a man plagued by deep bitterness. Brewbaker was often overlooked in favor of flashier co-stars, which reportedly fueled his behind-the-scenes resentment. He was known to sabotage younger actors' lines during rehearsals and was once accused, though never formally charged, of spreading damaging rumors that led to a colleague's firing from another series. He was married, but estranged from his only child for most of his life, allegedly due to Brewbaker's obsessive need for control and years of emotional neglect. Privately, he wrestled with depression and a secret gambling addiction that left him nearly bankrupt in the 1970s. Though he maintained a stable public image, insiders knew him as a chronic manipulator who clung to relevance with desperation. Robert Brewbaker died on April 15, 2010, at the age of 93 from natural causes. Who is your favorite character in Gunsmoke? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.